All right, so we are going to restart our instance. Now, as you can see, in this case, this operation requires a downtime. There are cases where it doesn't. We'll also explore that other case where you just stop the database itself. Okay. So once we start, you see that the data file has come here. The reason why this happens for temp is because temp is temp. So it can be automatically recreated when you restart the instance. Now, if I try to delete this while the instance is running, I should not be able to do that. This action cannot be completed because the file is open in SQL Server, right? But I can go back to my original path where the old temp is, right? Let's look back. You see that the temp is now in a new location. If I go back to where the old temp is, I can actually take out this guy because it's no longer in use. So that is one key way to move tempdb. I basically told the master that this is my new location for my temp dev logical data file, and I restarted the instance and it recreated that temp in that place. So you verify that it's okay. Now, if I wanted to do that for for a user database, let's go and try it out for AU. So you're just gonna, first of all, we have to change this to database AU. So these are where my data files are. Let's assume that I want to move this guy to drive E. So I pick up my logical file name. Right? Now, because of the dash, I have to put this in square brackets, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So I want to take it to, let me, for the purposes of neatness, I'm going to put it in another folder that I call data. Okay. Now, MS SQL data, and you must remember to change the data file name. Now, I didn't name this right. I accidentally typed a hyphen. I would avoid that. I would typically avoid that. But I doubt if this will work, but let me, just to be safe. So let's see. I tell master that look, does not exist. Database AU, alter database AU, modify file name. The file name pertains to that database and has been modified. So let's do that restart again. When we do that restart, we'll see what happens. Our database will not be able to open because master will be trying to open it. Oh, sorry. It will be open to open, but it will still open from the, yeah, master will be trying to open it from the new location because we told master is new location. So basically we'll see what happens here, and we see that AU is damaged. Then we go back to our log files, do an investigation, and see that master was not able to find that file. Okay, where is it? So it's at this stage, it's trying to start up AU. Then it says that it's unable to open physical file. The system cannot find the file specified. Remember that in the case of the temp, master was able to just recreate the temp as long as the path exists. As long as the path exists, master will recreate the temp data file. But for a user database, you must move the physical file as well as part of the operation. We must move, see there's nothing here. We must move our physical data file from here. Where was it? It was this one. In fact, we must move it from here down to where we want it to be after shutting down the instance of the database, right? We must move it here. We're able to do that because this data file is no longer being used. Then we have to rename it because remember we changed the name of the file. You can see that you can change the name of the physical file as long as the new name you're using is the same name that you have told master. So we're going to try that. So either we'll start again or we just simply restart the database alone. Oh, set unable to find physical file. Oh, did we move that? MS SQL data AU_2, right? Ah, okay. That is our mistake. So we didn't change the file extension, right? So, sorry. So you see that you need to pay attention a lot to these error messages. Right, so basically now master is able to find that data file and bring the database online. So we've shown you there's another way. Let's do another one. So we see that in this case, we don't really need to restart the entire instance. Let's do another one. Let's say we want to move AU3 from C to E. We see that AU3 is here. Then we say AU3. AU3, we want it to go to this new path, right? We're telling master that this time we're not moving Temp, we're moving this guy. Okay, so we take this offline, task take offline. It will always prompt you, and if you have active connections, you need to stop them. So you've taken the database offline, then you have to go to the original location of the data file. To be safe, what you do is copy it first, right? Don't cut it like I did before. Copy it first, then take it to the new location. Because if it's a large file, it's also easy for it to get corrupted in the course of copy. So you have to be careful. Now, once you've copied it, then because you have already told master that this is the new location, you bring it back online. Yep. So when you bring it online, you discover that this is your new database, right? This is your new data file. You can't delete it, but you can go back and delete the old one, right? The old one is this. It's no longer in use. Fine. So that's basically what it is about moving data files.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so with the data files, if the database is online, you can't delete them, right?
You can't.
Okay.
Because that means that SQL is using the file.
It's not like probably Oracle where maybe you can do RM, remove the data file.
Precisely.
Okay.
You can't delete it once the database is online.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So those are ways of moving any system database and a user database. Simple way to do that cleanly. There are other ways. For example, there's a way of detach and attach. I can detach this database this is not as clean as the other one. I detach it. After I detach it, that means I must know where it is, because once I detach it, I can no longer find out where it is. So I know where it is, I detach, then I come back to where it is. Let's just go back here, go back to E. I want to move my data file 3 back. So I take this. I'm just using cut here for the purposes of speed in this lecture. Ideally, always use a copy so that you have the backup of the file. In fact, you should back up your database before starting this at all. You should back up your database before even starting this at all. So once we've done this, we will now go back and attach the database again. But this time, when we want to attach the database, this is the primary data file, right? SQL Server knows the location of all the other ones, but now we want to change that location for this guy. Yep. Let's assume, yeah, it's actually already picked up the new location of this, but if it hadn't, we'll have to go here and what have I done? 1 minute, please. This is AU3. Refresh. See MS SQL data. Oh, sorry, all files. So I didn't see that because it's an NDF, right? So I select it, say OK, and that is that. So I'm able to attach it back, and I can actually delete the other one, right? Oh, I cut it, so I don't need to delete. But in production, like I said, before you start, you back up your database, and when you're handling data files, you do a copy first. When you're sure it's working, you can delete the old one. So that's basically that. Now let's try to do that for master. Let's try to do that for master. A little trickier, but it can be done. All right, so in the case of master, we have 6 steps. We have to change the startup parameters and change certain switches. Stop the instance, then manually relocate the database files, and then start the instance. This is a very easy way to do it. Okay? So we're going to try that out. Now remember where our configuration files are, our startup parameters are from the last lecture. I think that was 2 lectures ago. Our startup parameters are here, and these startup parameters tell the engine where our master is. So assuming we wanted to move our master to a new location, let's say we want to move it to C, MS SQL data. So we just go and make that update. C, MS SQL data. Okay. Right? We can just for fun, we do the same thing for the log. Okay? All right. And then we do the update. Sorry, have I done I didn't do the update for this guy. Update. So the new paths are there for the master log and the data log. Apply that. All changes will be saved, however, they will not take effect until the service is stopped and restarted. Now, once I do this, if I try to restart SQL Server as is, right? Of course, you know it will fail, right? It will fail. It will fail because it cannot find master. Let's simulate that. And when it fails, you will not even be able to go to the SQL Server error log except you go through event viewer. Right? Let's see that happen. We'll see that happen now so that you will be able to know what has happened. For example, in production, if your drive where your master files are sitting actually fail entirely, you may have a similar error that we are going to see now. So let's open Event Viewer. Yes. So that is the kind of error you're going to get. So now, if you have this kind of problem, you now have to start troubleshooting this error. The error says storage. That means I can't connect to SQL Server. It's not accessible. It's not correct. Could not open the connection. And the real error is after this history, the real error is the system cannot find the file specified. So you need to be aware of that. So we need to trace. You need to now trace and say, okay, where is what is actually happening. Sometimes I like to, when I go to Event Viewer, to filter the log. Let's wait for it to come. I like to filter the log. Come on. That's taking quite a while. All right, I need to clear this my log. Okay. I didn't get that. I didn't get that.
Ideally, it's not appropriate. It's not appropriate to be moving master.
Yes, but it depends on why you are doing that movement. Like I said, there are cases where, assuming, for example, when you did your original installation, everything sat on drive C, and you don't want it to sit on drive C anymore. Maybe because the truth is, maybe you want to be able to, you know that, of course, apart from backups of your system databases, if your operating system, your OS drive crashes, you may need to still have your databases intact. If, for example, my OS drive crashes and I need to rebuild the operating system, I can actually do that. I'll mount my E and F back because they are storage on the SAN, and I'll be able to open my instance because my database file is sitting on D or not on C. You get my point?
Yeah, I get it.
So if you want to prepare for that kind of day, it may make sense for you to move this to a separate drive of its own that is not the operating system drive.
Okay.
So that there are some cases where, but I mean, it don't do things that are too risky. Let me put it that way. And like I said, always do the backup first. And of course, you know that restoring master is not the same as restoring other databases. So there are pros and cons, but is good for you to just know the procedure for some of these things, so that when you need to do it, you'll be able to do it smoothly. All right. So I'm filtering out all my other logs, and I want to see MS SQL Server, right? Yeah. So I'll have to clear these logs later. All right, so this is the error. It says the error 2, system cannot find the file specified. Remember that this is what we got in the startup, in the attempted startup here. Where was it? It's gone. This is what we had, that the system cannot find the file specified, but in Event Viewer I can see the details. Now remember that I said the reason why I'm coming to Event Viewer is because at this stage I can't even access my instance anymore, because master is the first guy that needs to be opened for me to even be able to access my instance. So Event Viewer tells me that an error occurred while opening this. So that means when I did my movement, I did not copy the physical file to the new location. So that's all I need to do. All I need to do is to go back and take my physical file. Previously it was here. or where is it? Yeah. And my master, I copy them and take them to the new location where I decided to move them. Okay, and I just start my instance again. Yeah, so we're done. So that's a moving master. All right, so let's talk a little bit about temp. We basically practically showed these concepts before, that we can actually, as long as the path where TempDB sits is available, we can delete temp, we can move temp, and restart the instance, and we'll be able to get our TempDB back. Now, yes, we already did this. All right. Yes, so let's do a little, we have about 10 slides to go. So let's do a little bit of this. You can create a database in 2 words. We have done that so many times, we don't need to do it again. Am I correct? But we'll just do one again. You can also drop a database in 2 words. Drop database. All right. We're going to look at this script practically. And these are the key database options. The collation in the recent versions of SQL, you can decide that your character set is different from the instance character set. Recovery model, whether it is full or bulk logged or simple. For production, you are always advised to use the full recovery model. The compatibility, is it the compatibility of the instance, or you want to make it a little backward compatible? Is it auto close? That means, do you want the database to close by itself when you basically are not using it or not? Do you want it to shrink itself? That's auto shrink when you're using it. Auto create statistics, auto update statistics. We'll see this practically as we go on. All right. So these are the statements to add files. There are graphical ways of doing this. There are command line ways of doing this. Dropping files, removing files. There are also ways to do that. Okay. Okay, yes. So we mentioned the concept of file groups. What we use it for, we will logically organize our data files. We want to isolate hot tables. We want to put hot tables on very fast storage, hot tables and indexes. We want to partition. We want to spread out our I/O, and so on and so forth. So those are key uses of file groups. Okay. So we did this already. Of course, the third option of moving user databases, I didn't touch it, which is the backup and restore. You know, in the backup, in the restore of a database, you have the option of the redirecting the restore, the database to another part. We'll do backup and restore in another lecture, and we'll see the details of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a little bit of practical in that sense. I hope I have my scripts ready. So we've done this already. We're going to close this. Okay, yes, I think we all have this. Yeah, so just for practical purposes, let me log the sessions out, disconnect.